Hi, everybody. My name is Brandon. Thank you so much for coming to Shakira in my presentation today, Pumpkin Spice Donation Page, Getting to Page Perfection. So let's jump in and go ahead and get started.
I'm Shakira Dale. I am the web developer at Highest. Highest is a nonprofit organization that provides humanitarian and just support and assistance to refugees. My main job is to maintain our website, highest.org, as well as working a lot with engaging networks to create and send out external communications, create donation campaigns, and advocacy campaigns. So Brandon and I work a lot together.
My name is Brandon Fuller. I'm the owner and chief strategist at Raise the Roots, and I'm actually Engaging Networks alumni. I was the director of client support, client services, and I started Raise the Roots because I wanted an agency that really served the needs of Engaging Networks clients. We have dozens of Engaging Networks clients that we've worked with on everything from email and page setup, reporting, and some of those basics, all the way up to more complex uses of the tool, like marketing automations, next suggested gift, setting up peer-to-peer, configuring integrations, migrating, e-commerce, any way that you may use digital tools. We've helped Engaging Networks clients with that. And so we're very excited today to walk you through how we worked with Highest to help them create new changes and enhancements to their donation page. So today we're going to talk about the previous donation page design for the Highest donation page, what the goals were for their new design for the enhancements they're going to add, how we tested each change. Those three changes that we added were adding a transaction fee checkbox, adding a recurring gift nudge, and updating the default donation amount. So to get started, Shakira is going to talk a little bit about what the previous donation page looked like.
So we came over to Engaging Networks from another CRM in 2018, and the look and feel of our donation pages has generally stayed the same until we started making the upgrades this past summer. You can see the old design to the left. It's very basic and very standard. It didn't do too bad. We got about 100,000 plus transactions and over $7 million in donations from it, but we felt it was time for a change and to make some improvements. We wanted a way to increase the number of monthly gifts. Prior to the changes that we made this summer, that number was around $25 to $27, but we wanted, to increase that threshold. The next goal we wanted to tackle was to increase the average gift amount. Next. And the last goal was we wanted to take advantage of Engaging Networks' new transaction fee checkbox functionality. And this allows donors to increase their gift amount to cover transaction fees, basically. So more money goes to, the donation.
So just looking here at how we were able to test this. So Engaging Networks has an A/B testing tool for testing pages. And I think they call it a split test. And you can take two different pages, put them through the split test, and Engaging Networks will give you data on how both pages are performing. So here, this is just an example. You could create one page that has a donation amount without the checkbox for the transaction fee, and then another page that has a donation amount area with a checkbox for the transaction fee. If you're wanting to do this, you go into the pages area of Engaging Networks. After you've created your two pages that you're going to be testing against each other, you'll see that you click New Page, and there's a split test option in that page selection area that pops up. Then when you select that, Engaging Networks will ask you to choose what pages you're testing. So here you can see we have one page that has the 4% upsell, one page that does not have the upsell. EN will allow you to choose how you want the winning page to be selected. So you can actually have that winner automatically selected after 1,000 page views, or you can set the number of page views. EN will automatically look at which page had the highest conversions. That will be the winning page. And from then on, when people arrive at that URL, they will be automatically sent to the winning version. But you can also disable this, and instead you can choose the winner yourself. So you can monitor it. There might be different factors you consider to decide what's a winning page and what's not a winning page. Maybe it's average donation amount, or maybe it's the number of recurring gifts generated. So if you don't want page conversions to be the metric that you use, you just uncheck that box, and at any given time, you can say, this is the winning one, and choose that. So just to give you a sense of what this looks like in Engaging Networks, here we have an A/B split test that we've created. We have our 2 pages that we're testing. EN will give you a URL just for this A/B test. And basically what happens is you use that URL wherever you want, in emails that you're sending out or on your website. And when people land on it, EN will automatically send them to one of the 2 test pages. So you'll see in the URL that it will change as people are entering that link. They'll be sent to 1 or 2 of the 2 pages you're testing. And that allows sort of this randomness where people are being sent to one of these pages, and you'll get a sense over time of which page is performing best. Here's that URL. You can also insert this page as a campaign link in your emails. So you go to the Insert Campaign Link button, and you'll see the A/B test as one of the options in the dropdown you can select from, or you can just drop that URL wherever you want. In Hyas's example, we'll talk about this in a second, they added it to the donate button on their website. Yeah, and I think, how many page views do you usually get on that page?
We got about 10,000 views in the past like 6 months or so,
Yeah.
to a year. Yeah, so it's heavy traffic, that button itself. Yeah.
So it's a great option if you have a website that also gets a lot of traffic to your donate button, or you could also insert it into the donate, maybe a donate link in the footer of your emails, or you could just use it for a regular fundraising campaign. However you think best to kind of get enough traffic to the donation, the test, so you can get a statistically significant sample of how many people have seen the page.
Right.
So next we're going to talk about change 1, which was this transaction fee checkbox. So in Engaging Networks, they've already built in a field called fee cover. If you go to your donation page and you check edit on that form block, you'll see that in the list of available fields that there's one called fee cover, and you can just drag it onto whatever form block you want. Here we're using the form block that features our donation amount. And when you drag it on there, it gives you lots of flexibility in how do you want to configure it. So in our case, we set a percentage of 3% that is added to the total donation amount. You could set like a dollar amount. You could say $5, and you can set whatever percentage you want. You could say 10%, 12%. You can also set a maximum value so that if you have a major donor who gives $5,000 or $10,000 on your donation page, you may not think it makes sense to charge them 3% of that. And so you can set a max of what could possibly be added to their donation. One thing to consider too is that here we're using this to cover transaction fees, right? But this is totally flexible. So if you want to add 10% to go to our general fund, if you want to add, chip in $20 to support our emergency fund, or anything you want. So, basically this is allowing you to ask donors to add more money to their donation for whatever reason you think is valid. In this case, we're using it for transaction fees. And Shakir's going to kind of walk through what the results were of adding this checkbox to the donation page.
Yep. So from implementing this transaction fee checkbox, you can see to the right that the total number of transactions and the amount raised have been consistently increasing, right? So in June, we have 247 for the total transactions, and we have 406, and then about more than 2,000 in August. So overall, it was a good idea.
Yeah.
The second change is called the recurring gift nudge, and basically we added this text at the top of the monthly gift button to basically draw attention to it and to just remind donors that they can make more of an impact by going with the monthly gift as opposed to a one-time gift.
Yeah, and the way that we did this was we created 2 questions. So Engaging Networks, you have fields, but then you also have questions that you can create. And we created 2 new questions, one called monthly gift suggestion and one called monthly gift thanks. And for each of these, we used a field type called image select. So when you're creating a question, you can choose what is the type of question. Is it going to be a drop-down select? Is it going to be a little radio? Is it just going to be a text field? And one of the options is an image select. And that's where people can actually choose pictures instead of actually like choosing from a drop-down. So we created these two questions, and for each of them, we selected image select as the type of field. And then we had these little graphics that we created. We uploaded those to EN, and we selected for the monthly gift suggestion, it's going to be the nudge that says make a bigger impact by giving monthly. And then for the monthly gift thanks, we used a different image that said, thank you for your monthly support. Then in Engaging Networks, if somebody has selected a monthly gift, then we hide the suggestion. But if they have not selected a monthly gift, then we show the suggestion. So that's just all done through field dependencies. If recurring payment equals no, then we're going to hide the monthly gift thanks. If recurring payment equals yes, we're going to hide the monthly gift suggestion. So that's pretty easy to set up. The only kind of like technical thing that is outside of the regular Engaging Networks functionality is that when you do these image selects, there is a little tiny bubble that appears, like a radio button that people can fill in, and you're not going to want that to appear. So here I have some code, and I'm happy to share this with you if you just want to shoot me an email, that you just put in a code block on the page, and that will hide that little circle so that people don't see that. All they'll see is the graphic, and it will change as they toggle between making a monthly gift or selecting that one-time option.
So we've always had our default donation amount set to $18 for longer than I've been at Highest. So we thought it'd be a good idea to test bumping it up to the 36 gift amount option, and seeing how well that does. So to do that, you just need to go into your page's settings and specifically edit the donation amount section. And then when you go into that setting, you should see like a button that says edit values. And all you need to do is just change the radio button to the number or the donation amount that you want to have be the main donation amount.
And I think it had a great impact.
Yeah. By changing it to the 36 average gift amount on the A/B test page, we found that the average gift on that page was $55.25, whereas when we had the default donation page set to $18, the average amount was $47.91. So we can clearly see that that has some impact.
So just kind of to talk a little bit about some of the things we learned while implementing some of these changes. The first is to eliminate outliers. So when you're looking at all these raw numbers in Engaging Networks and just comparing page performance to page performance, one of the things that could happen is that you might have a donor who is really generous and on one of your pages makes a $1,000 donation. Obviously, that's going to skew your numbers, and it's not necessarily going to give you a really good sense of how well these changes are doing. So I would export the transactions from Engaging Networks into a tool like Excel and do your statistical analysis there. Look for the mean. If you see outliers, eliminate those outliers to really get a sense of the impact of these changes. I would also let your colleagues know in advance, particularly anybody who works in like DevOps or other teams that receive a lot of that email feedback from donors, so that they can kind of monitor those inboxes and see if donors are complaining that something's not working, something's not right, or maybe they're unhappy with the change that you made. So it's good just to kind of let everybody know we're making this change, so keep an eye out for any kind of concerns or complaints from donors. The transaction fee checkbox, we tried that with a 3.5% because we thought that would be a more compelling number. It turns out it doesn't work with half percentages. So it does have to be a whole number. So eventually we changed it to 3%, but that's just something that we learned along the way. And also when you're looking at comparing donation page performance and making these kind of tweaks, we want to set some baselines. So what is our average gift amount before we do this? So that when you are measuring the impact, you actually have a number to compare against.
The future, we're looking forward to implementing the mobile wallet options. And it's just so the donors can have a more streamlined and more convenient way of donating. The next thing we'd love to try is the multi-step donation form. Right now, our donation forms tend to be just one long scrolling form. And we found and heard from other people that have tried this, that breaking up the donation form in sections has a better impact. And then the last thing we want to try out is ask strings. So right now we have like the lower end ask strings first, like it's like 18, 36, and so on. We wanted to flip it and see what would happen if we put higher amounts ask strings first. So like 500, 400, 100, and so on. So yeah.
So that is our presentation. Thank you so much again for attending. I've provided here our contact information, so feel free to reach out to Shakira or myself if you have any other questions, or if anything else occurs to you that you'd like to know, or if we can share some of this information, more details with you.